sense now. Oh yeah, mate. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say is she used to make. Oh, that was still pretty full. I didn't realize that. She used to make like really good food pretty often, like 10 or 20 years ago, and she still makes pretty good food sometimes, but it's almost always with like no salt and like no or very small amount of like butter and oil. But besides that, it's great for most of the time, and that's not hard to add.
That's where most of the flavor comes from, though.
It is.
It's salt and fat.
And it's like that's the thing with that generation that I was talking about is like they got brainwashed into thinking, like apparently all the studies now say that fats that come from healthy animals and good sources are one of the most nutritious things you can have for your body, and that also salt is extremely good for you, and there's like no downside to having too much. Pretty much, they're saying. Because your body can just get rid of any extra very easily. And it's the prime electrolyte for your brain health. So everything she is told to be healthier makes her unhealthier and the food tastes worse.
Right? Lose, really.
And like it's too bad because like her whole generation was kind of brought up with that mindset. And so they're always buying these like low-fat things that end up having like a lot of sugar and carbohydrates in like to make up for the flavor, which is like way worse for you. But
3:13 all is well. Take a gander outside here. Slightly overcast day, not too bad. It was pretty clear today. I like that.
it was frosty this morning.
Yeah, a little colder than I'd prefer, but that's okay. It's getting to be that time of year.
The whole ground is frosted. Oh, my skin's a bit dry.
I've been plowing back water and seltzer like it's my job, cutting back on coffee because it's just the dehydration time of year.
Oh, have you had yerba mate like a strong... Dude. As an alternative to coffee, yerba mate like can get you just as much of a buzz or more, but it's also refreshing and hydrating. So I'll have to make you a strong brew sometime. You can try that coming back from coffee because I need to do that too. It's also cool because it's like it's a smooth muscle relaxant, which no other caffeinated tea is.
Yeah, coffee is kind of a double-edged sword. I've heard different things. It can, kickstart your metabolism if you eat it or if you consume it during or after your food. And it's got polyphenols in it, which is pretty good. But it can also lower your iron absorption. So, I don't know. I want to try and get on the mushroom coffee.
I've been adding so I ordered a pound pouch because if you buy it in a pound pouch it's like you save a lot of money compared to capsules and stuff. It's like a 7 mushroom blend. And when I brew my coffee, I'll put my beans in my coffee grinder and I'll also add some of the 7 mushroom blend powder.
Yeah. See, that's what I got to get my hands on. I got to sneak it into my coffee.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a bunch of companies that are coming up with their blends. So you literally just add it's like putting cocoa powder in steaming water and then frothing it. And it's got the mushies and a tiny bit of coffee.
Cocoa powder. Yes. That stuff is so healthy and good for you and tasty. Add that, dude. I need to add that to my coffee mushroom brew. Yeah.
There you go. Get a little bit of chocolatiness to it.
Yeah. Baker's chocolate, 100%. But yeah, so we had these good steaks and hams, and one of them was even like a filet mignon.
Oof.
So when you put that into a beef stew, of course, it's going to be pretty good.
So good. I've had terrible chefs cook filet mignon, and it's just so tender, you really can't ruin it. It's even people that aren't the best at cooking, it's so just good. This is good steak.
So what I did is I took an onion, like a big white or yellow onion, and diced it up, put it in an iron skillet with butter, and put it on low medium low to get that translucent effect going, or almost there, like most of the way there. And then when that is like 70% cooked, you can start adding garlic in, because garlic cooks a lot faster than onion.
Oh yeah, it does.
So you really want to add that towards the end, whatever you're sauteing and frying. And so what I also do is like garlic has different flavors and properties depending on how much it's cooked. So I'll like dice up cloves individually and add them in minute after minute as towards the end of the onion.
So you're getting the full range. Nice.
You get some range. And I like to like crush them between my fingers, because then you get like these grains.
Then you can
Because when you chop it up,
snip your fingers.
I feel like you lose something. Kind of like when you tear meat apart, it's like a more satisfying texture than chopping it up.
Yeah.
Sort of like that. And so I'll do that with and so once that was done, and onion and the garlic, it really only takes like a minute to 2 or 3 minutes, no more than 5 for the most part. And you're going to start overcooking it. It's a good tip I heard is as soon as it smells good, it's done.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so once those onions are translucent and the garlic is done, then I put
food as a whole. I feel like that's when you know it's either done or it's extremely close to done. When you get that good smell in the kitchen, time to eat.
Yeah, and I used to have such incredible good like food sense, where like things would be cooking and I'd be like over in my living room in my old apartment, like just watching TV and stuff, not setting timers. And like things would be, I'd have to go stir here and there every 10, 20 minutes. My mind would just be like, it's time. And I would go look and it'd be the perfect time to do it. It was crazy. It was like built into me. It was really satisfying. But so so after the onion and garlic is done, put from the pan, put them into the crock pot. Crock pot's empty besides the onion and garlic and a little bit of butter. And I put that on low to start warming up the crock pot. And then I get the pan fairly medium hot, put more butter in, put in the steak or two. And once they're like golden brown on both sides, because the idea here is, I used to, from reading the old recipes, I used to read recipes all the time for beef stew, is like there's something about searing the outside before you put it into a stew that makes it better. So you don't want to like cook it through, you just want to sear the outsides. It like seals in the juice or something.
Oh yeah.
So I sear all the outsides until they're like brown in butter. Maybe add some salt and pepper. And then once those are all seared on the outside, then I sort of cut them into strips or dice them up and just do a quick 10, 20-second stir it around, sear all the faces. So then you've got cubes that have just been seared, but are still like mostly raw on the inside. And once that's all done, throw that into the crock pot. Same thing with the hams. So this actually turned into a beef and ham stew, but it was like 3 steaks and like 2 ham steak chops.
Getting hungry.
I know. This is like it's a good topic because it's something we both are passionate about. But you're gonna start lining up later, because that's what I was doing this morning. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get those cream and berries. I'm gonna do this and that. It's gonna be a good day, you know. But yeah, so I do that, and then we ended up having green chili left over from our Mexican cooking. Hatch, New Mexico green chili. I don't know if you've ever had it. You might have. It is so flavorful.
Yeah, I've had green chili sauce before.
It's like the heat range can go anywhere from no heat to hot. And we had some like medium heat.
Ideal. That's what I like. I don't like it overly spicy.
No, me neither. I think it was like probably a 6, maybe even a 6.5 heat.
I don't like mild though.
Which was like perfect. It was like to the point where like if you eat a whole bowl, you kind of need to wait 30 seconds before you eat more. Like let the heat die down. That's kind of what you want.
Nice.
And so did the same thing with those. We ended up having like a quarter of a red pepper and like maybe like a third of a green pepper left over from something. Chopped those up. Sauteed them in the skillet with more butter and the green chili. Threw those in the crock pot. At that point, put some water in the crock pot. Not enough to cover the food, because you don't want a weak...
You're not making soup either.
Right. You want it thick. You want it to be hearty. So
BBW style.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Yeah. So I leave like an inch or two of like the center pile of the mountain of food like out of the water, because I don't want to do too much water. And plus, I'm going to be adding a beer later.
Oh, yeah?
I picked that up from a recipe years ago, and a beer into a beef stew, Really
little
good.
little hoppy.
I don't know
Kinda
what it
nice.
does. I think maybe the alcohol like denatures and helps it like break down, mix together, and
Could
add some
be. Could
flavor.
tenderize it
Yeah, I
potentially.
don't know, but it's I mean, I can tell you though it works. And so I had a PBR that I threw in there, and at that point,
It's a bibber.
dude, I love it's a dude.
I'm waiting to hear some sort of lager or something. Just
I
bibber.
PBR is a great flavor. I like it. But so yeah, I put that in there, and that was like just enough to almost cover the food, but not quite, because once it starts cooking and breaking down, it's going to settle into the liquid.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to overdo it. And then most beef stews either have a Worcestershire sauce in them,
Worcestershire.
a Worcester sauce,
Worcester.
or like a Asian fish sauce, like Worcestershire sauce.
We need to say it different every time now.
Worcestershire sauce,
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire,
Worcestershire.
has a very similar flavor to fish sauce. A lot of good Asian cooking has fish sauce in it.
Saltiness.
It's like umami and salty, and so basically you can either do a dash of either one. And I ended up doing the fish sauce, and of course I salted it, the whole stew.
Fish sauce probably being better for you anyhow.
Yeah,
Some
and
omega-3s up in this bitch.
yep, and I think that's all the ingredients. I might be missing one or two, but that was most. Oh yeah, tomato. We had fresh garden tomatoes, where like you could tell that the variety that they were was like they were made to have like really thick husks to protect what's inside from going bad. And so the actual like juicy part on the inside had like incredible flavor, but the husk had like zero flavor and there was a ton of it. So I just crushed them into the soup to get the good juices out, the flavor.
Like you were milking a cow.
Yeah. And without putting any of the the flavorless husks in, because that's key to beef stew too, is a little tomato going on there. And that was about it. And then it simmered. Put it on high until the bubbles start. Once the bubbles start going, set the crock pot down to low. And total cook time, once it starts like simmering, is like 4 hours maybe. And oh yeah, we actually had some leftover potatoes that we had baked, and ended up
I was waiting for that.
not too many.
Potatoes.
That needs to be in a beef stew. You need some potatoes, and it was like a perfect balance too, because it was just like 3 or 4 halves of potatoes, so it didn't overpower the stew with blandness, but just enough. And those had already been baked, and after they were baked, then I fried them again in butter, and added them into the.
Oh boy!
And when I was adding the beer, I used to cook, dude.
Now I'm feeling wrong for not going into depth on any of my casseroles.
You can do one.
Because we've been talking about this one.
I'm almost done with this. I'm almost done with this one. I'm 10 seconds away from finishing this one. Then you can.
All right.
Tell me anything
Tantalize
you want.
me some more, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have to go home and make beef stew.
Dude, I'll give you some of the cuts we got in our freezer if you want. So the last step was before I added the whole beer to the stew, after all the ingredients were in, I added like 90% of it or whatever, and then I deglazed the pan with the last splash.
Yeah.
Because that gets like all the flavorful oils and stuff comes out and into your soup.
Yeah, I like making gravies that way.
Yeah.
Deglazing.
And bro, that stew, the best stew I've ever had in my life.
Noish.
Yeah.
Sounds it.
It was fucking insane.
Sounds it.
So good.
Just the amount of detail that you're able to provide on the steps, so you can tell you were really into making it.
Yeah, a lot of people will just like throw a bunch of stuff in a crock pot.
You can taste the difference when there's passion in it.
It's just like a soggy mess when it's done. Like you gotta fry it all first, then you put it in the pot. But yeah, dude, it was. Yeah, I want to make a cooking channel on YouTube. That'd be fun. I did a couple cooking videos. I just put them on my mix channel.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make a dedicated channel though, because I get really into it with a bunch of stuff. I can make some good stuff.
Noish.
Yeah, you can lay down a fat recipe for me.
A fat recipe for you?
Or whatever. Yeah, if there's
All right. So I got one for you.
Okay. Dude, when your body is sore from work, Working man, reclining is like the best feeling on earth.
Oh yeah. Take a load off.
Mm.
Wearing boots. That'll do it. As soon as you take
Oh,
the work boots off. Oh yeah.
did you
Don't
ever
bother me for nothing else.
did you ever ski, dude? After taking off ski boots, it's literally no better feeling in the world. After hours of those things strapped on.
I used to do when I was really young cross country skiing.
Really?
Yeah, I never really got into downhill skiing, but yeah, the ski boot is more restricting than a snowboard boot, and they both are not great.
I want to get the ski boots that are like, they make ski boots that are basically snowboard boots. And with like bindings on the skis.
Noish.
I need to get some because my ankle cramming it into the ski boot is like pretty harsh. But yeah, so let's
We want to hear
hear something. Let's hear some special.
Dad's famous me being father. I make I call it tacos because it falls in line with Taco Tuesday, and that's what we do at our house.
Yeah.
But it's more of a fajita.
Yep. It's a spectrum. All that Mexican food. It's all the same ingredients. Just
Yeah. Little things here and there.
yeah.
But yeah, what I typically do is I like to use chicken tenderloins.
Tenderloin. I don't even know what that is.
Chicken tendies.
Oh, tendies.
Tendies.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I know
just
what a
not breaded or anything.
I know what a tendy is.
If I say chicken tendies,
Chicken
most
tendy.
people think breaded, like all that grossness. But no.
Tenderloin. Ah.
Yeah.
I always associate that with like beef and stuff. But anyway.
Same thing. Same cut, different animal.
Oh.
But yeah, I take chicken tenderloins.
Oh, sorry. One last thing I did forget in that beef stew. Garlic. You know how you can take a whole bulb of garlic and put it in tin foil and put olive oil on it and bake it until it's soft and then you squeeze it in? We did that too.
Oh, nice.
Anyway.
So what I do with my fajita / taco hybrid is I first get out. If I'm feeling real fancy and I've got time, I won't use garlic or onion powder. I'll actually caramelize the onion and saute the garlic. But after that's done, that's the first step. You know how to do that. We've already
onion
talked
and garlic,
about it a few times now.
First step to many
saute
recipes.
it with butter.
Yeah.
Then what I'll do is almost like a shake and bake, so I can get
I've done that a few times. I love that.
even coverage with my cumin, coriander, chili pepper,
And flour.
paprika. No flour,
Just spices.
just spices.
Oh, cool.
And shake it in there. I don't really want a
Coriander?
breading because I'm going to actually pull the chicken later to get that nice kind of
never done that.
texture. Yeah, it's nice. So I shake it in the seasoning, get an even coat, and it almost creates like a bark. And chicken tenderloins cook real fast. It's like probably 3 minutes per side at medium heat. So while that's going, I've got my tortillas, soft flour tortillas, heating up on a separate skillet with cheese. So what that does is you get kind of the best of both worlds. It ends up being kind of like a hard shell taco, but I prefer flour tortillas over corn tortillas. So when they're still hot, you can mold them, and I get a nice little boat shape. You just hold it there with typically the palm, so you don't, because the fingertips are real sensitive. It hurts to hold hot shells. So I just kind of hold it there for 10 seconds, and the cheese is all melted. Which is nice because it creates like a base layer, kind of holds in the juices so that your tortilla doesn't get ruined. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a cheese barrier. The cheese is melting on top of the tortilla in a separate skillet. You form your little taco shape. Then I've got to have cucumbers.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds good. That's like Greek almost.
Yeah, I gotta have fresh cut cucumbers because it I do lay lettuce on top of the melted cheese,
Mm.
and then the cucumbers. The cucumbers are just like it's adding what the lettuce doesn't quite get. We get a little bit more crunch with the cucumber, which is good. And then
No, that sounds nice. The refreshing cucumber mixed in with like the heavy spiced stuff.
yeah.
That sounds like a really nice compliment.
So then you've got your base layer of the lettuce and the cucumber, and then by about the time that I have like 3 or 4 shells done, my tenders are probably done. So I get all that, put it in a mixing bowl, and then I'll take 2 forks and I need to actually buy, like, they make these, like, they look like Wolverine claws. Mm-hmm. And you can just shred your chicken that way. But yeah, I just pull it apart, get it shredded. That goes on top. A little maybe fresh pico or just salsa if you're not too into it. You got to crank it out. And a little bit of sour cream. And that's the fajita taco hybrid. But the other thing that I do with the chicken that I didn't mention is I call it a maple chili chicken. Because sometimes I'll go a little heavy-handed on the chili powder, get a little bit more spice. Because everything else is kind of just.
I use a lot of chili powder. It needs a lot.
Yeah. So I do a little bit of maple syrup on the chicken while it's cooking. And the combination of the spices and the maple syrup heating up gets like this nice bark. So you get like little sweet and spicy crunchy bits on your shredded chicken. And it's good. It's good. It's always good.
Wait, so that first thing I'm having trouble picturing. So is this like a casserole dish?
No, it's literally just tacos, man.
So when you melt your cheese in your shell and you form it in your hands.
I do it on a flat pan, like a
skillet top.
Yeah.
So you melt the cheese on the thing and you form it into a taco shape. And you have the shredded chicken.
So the shredded chicken goes on last. They're just toppings. It's all just toppings. It's like a regular taco. So I got the tortilla that has the cheese. I form the shell.
It's like a boat that stays upright.
You kind of just curl the top. It's an art form. You gotta. I've done it so many times that it works.
I'll have to get a picture sometime.
But yeah. I'll ship it over. We're doing it Tuesday, so before this gets uploaded, you might have a picture to.
So it's like a boat.
There. Yeah, it's like a little
taco boat.
Yeah.
And then you add shredded chicken inside that, or
the lettuce, the cucumber, then the chicken, then the salsa or pico, whatever you're feeling.
All fills up.
Maybe even a little bit of guacamole if you know.
Yeah.
If you want. And then sour cream. The sour cream cuts the salsa or pico pretty good.
So you fill the boat up with all that?
Fill the boat.
Oh, okay. I've never done a boat like that. That sounds pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, it's like a crunchy flour tortilla, and typically people don't. If you're having a crunchy taco, it's usually a corn shell. And if you're doing a flour tortilla, it's usually soft shell taco. So I like that kind of in between deal. It's different and it's good.
Have you ever tried the like 20% corn flour tortillas?
I haven't.
They're pretty rare. They're good. They're nice.
Yeah, I like heating up the tortillas too and forming that boat because you get like when carbohydrates become like toasted or cooked, they have a sweetness. They start to break down. So you get a little hint of that. It's almost like having like a honey wheat or something like that. It's nice. It's crunchy, it's savory, it's spicy, and it's sweet.
I've done all
the things.
I've done all that stuff. I've done all those ingredients and cooking methods with Mexican food because I do a lot of Mexican cooking. But I've never done it in that form factor with the boat. So I'll have to try that at some point.
Do it up. It's good. Highly recommended.
For sure.
I just hit my ear on a microphone. I forgot it was there until
Mm.
it snuck up on me and pinched me in the ear.
Blimey. All right, well, that was cool. I mean, it goes by so fast. Like I said, when you're like, I hate to use the word passionate. It feels like a weird word I don't like using. But when you're passionate about what you're talking about, the time goes by so quick, and like people like listening to you when you're talking about stuff you're passionate about. So it's cool. I think it worked out good.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, I've been knowing.
The hickey ups with you today.
I know. I
My
need to lie
daughter
down.
had them today too. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
I'm not
like,
feeling 100%. I need to lay down. Get some reishi in me.
calm those diaphragm spasms.
Yeah, that's the thing. The yerba mate tea, which I used to love, and I still do love. I've just been like too lazy to get back into it. There's like a whole family of caffeine compounds, and different plants have different types of caffeine actually.
Mm-hmm.
And yerba mate has, well, before that, as we were talking about coffee health and stuff, 1 or 2 cups a day can be pretty healthy, but more than that can be like less healthy. And it's timing of it, obviously. Like if I drink coffee afternoon after 12, I'll have more trouble sleeping.
Oh yeah, there's a couple times where I've done that. I've hit the afternoon wall, and instead of resting or being able to rest, I've had to push through and consume more caffeine, which is never good because then you're like lying awake. Your body's ready for rest, but your mind is just like.
And this one guy said that it's not good to drink coffee like right when you wake up. He's like, because your body's not tired yet. He's like, if you can wait just like an hour and a half or something, then it's like, I don't know about that, but it's interesting. It's so hard to, dude, I can't get up and not drink coffee. It's like,
Right.
so good. But anyway, the yerba mate, so it's got a unique family of caffeines, and there's no other tea with caffeine in it.
Yeah.
That has smooth muscle relaxant properties. And so smooth muscle is like your lungs and your heart. So you get and it's like a strong, but the yerba mate is like the only other cool thing about, the other thing that's cool about it is it's like the only other thing I know of caffeine drink natural that's as strong as coffee. So if you brew like a good strong yerba mate, it's like it actually gets you going like a coffee, but it's a smooth muscle relaxant. So your heart doesn't go faster.
Yeah,
Like you still have the pickup mentally. So you're still like feeling refreshed and awake. And like
smoking a nice sativa.
Yeah. It's like it gets you going, like you have energy and you feel good, but your heart's not racing and your lungs aren't like on overdrive. So it's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, that's I think my goal. I think in life at this point in time is I don't really want to do what I'm doing forever. It's not a dissatisfying job, but it's becoming more tedious as the years go on.
Yeah.
I really just want to purchase a home with enough land to just grow herbs, spices, and fresh vegetables, and I want to do like apothecary stuff and start selling them.
Me too.
So I don't have to leave the house. I could just go out into my garden, make some, even like essential oils and stuff. Just like start doing a whole variety of whatever I can grow. Lotions, essential oils, bath salts with infused stuff, teas, whatever.
I had an opportunity to do a garden this summer right outside here. I just didn't have the time and energy, but I'd love to do one. It grows lemon balm naturally now, the whole thing, which I love. Lemon balm is great.
It smells nice.
It makes you feel good. It's like relaxing. It does smell nice.
But that's my goal. Once we get a house, y'all watch out. Won't see me playing with wastewater
Nice.
or drinking water ever again.
Dude, you might have to wait like 5 or 10 years, but the market is going to come down because all the boomers are dying eventually and like selling their houses and moving into care homes. And there's going to be a bunch of houses coming on the market at some point, maybe.
Lord willing.
Yeah, man. Okay. Nice one, dude.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Good job, mate.
Good job, mate.